What is going on, comic book gang? My name is Jiangxi, aka Year of the Collector, and I'm back with another episode for the comic book event from Marvel, One World Under Doom. Technically, this is episode 5 or 6 for me. However, in the actual timeline for the series, this will be issue number 20. I'm just covering the few storylines that I personally am interested in, right? Fantastic Four being one of them. But if you want to read the whole thing, One World Under Doom is about 32 issues total. If you want to know what's been happening up until this point, at the end of this video, there's going to be a link to the playlist of what I have covered for the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, and specifically for the Thunderbolts. With that being said, let's jump right into it. This is Fantastic Four number 30 by Ryan North. This issue happens in the immediate aftermath of One World Under Doom number 2. So of course, there are spoilers for that. When the Fantastic Four pulled up on Doom at the United Nations, Emperor Doom took the opportunity to embarrass Reed at Ben's expense by transforming the Thing back into his human form. Mind you, this was done without Ben's consent. Nobody asked Dr. Doom to do this whatsoever. The rest of this issue is just Ryan North navigating the psychology of Ben Grimm, and you'll see what I mean by that. Soon after this incident, the Fantastic Four retreated back to Arizona, where Ben had to break the news to his children. The first thing that is thrown at Ben was the fact that his own children didn't recognize him. They noticed he was sad about the whole thing, and they threw his own words back at him. Are not all bodies as good as every other body? Of course, he must have felt some type of way about that. Who wouldn't? Then later, he goes shopping for new clothes because, as you can imagine, he's been the Thing for decades at this point. He has no human-sized clothes. That's where he gets hit for a second time. He saw the press was covering what happened to him. The entire world watched him get transformed by Doom against his will. Of course, the images being used to report on the story are not flattering images of Ben, to say the least. His most embarrassing moment was seen by the entire world. That had to have a heavy effect on Ben. It was clear that Ben was very depressed about this situation. The man was just trying to sleep and wallow on his problems. His wife Alicia was not going to allow it. So she took him out for a whole day. They went to New York and did a bunch of stuff together. Watched stand-up comedy, ate some pizza, had a couple of beers. Alicia was taking care of her man. But at the end of the night, they found themselves walking through an alley and they were stopped by a mugger. Without giving it a second thought, Ben reacted to the situation as if he was still the Thing. Ben got shot in the hand for his troubles. Honestly, this could have gone way worse. The mugger took Alicia's purse and took off, but he was stopped by a Doombot of all things, kinda adding insult to injury, don't you think? Ben was taken to a hospital where the doctors managed to save his hand, and he was scheduled to make a full recovery. However, Ben and Reed had a very revealing conversation about how Ben was feeling. Ben's confidence had taken a few hits already, but the mugging just put him over the edge. He was feeling useless as a human, and he just wanted to be okay or maybe at peace with his new situation. So, after putting a good face in front of his family that night, he went to see an old friend the next day. Well, maybe not an old friend, technically speaking, their family. Ben paid a visit to Phillip Masters, aka the Puppet Master. Just in case you didn't know, Phillip Masters is the father of Alicia Masters, Ben's wife. Ben and Alicia got married in Dan Slott's run on the Fantastic Four in 2018, in issue number 5 to be more specific. There was a bachelor's party, wedding shower, the whole nine. You should check it out. It's a fun issue. Why did Ben visit his father-in-law? Phillip Masters is a known criminal and a sworn enemy of the Fantastic Four, even well before Ben married his daughter. Well, Ben was tired of being depressed, tired of struggling with his identity. He didn't want to put on a brave face anymore. He just wanted to be okay now. So he brought Phillip his psychic clay so he could use his mind-controlling powers to make Ben be okay. That evening, Ben was back in Arizona with his family. It was all smiles until Alicia took a call from the hospital. Turned out, Ben had been discharged way earlier than he told the family. The gig was up. So of course, Ben told Alicia what he did and they headed to Rikers to see her father. Alicia wanted her father to undo whatever he was doing to Ben. After they exchanged a few words about Philip's parenting skills, he revealed to Alicia that this was all Ben's idea. Ben wanted to be mind controlled in order to avoid thinking about his problems. Finally, the cat is out of the bag. Alicia heard it from the horse's mouth. Ben admitted it. He just wanted to be strong. He just wanted to be happy and be okay with everything. As you can imagine, Alicia could not believe what she heard. I think that's understandable. Alicia never loved Ben for what he was, this giant rock monster thing. None of us did, for that matter, right? Everyone loves the Thing for who he is, that loving, funny, and caring hero and friend from Yangtze Street. Ben's self-image had taken some big hits, and he just wasn't ready to deal with all of it, so he kind of took the easy way out. Ben was weak, not because he was flesh and bone, but because he gave into his negative thoughts and took a shortcut instead of fighting back. Fortunately for Ben, he wasn't alone, and he had his family that loved and support him through thick and thin. Alicia was going to make sure her husband remembers that the next time he felt rushed by any dark or negative thoughts. Later that day, all prisoners from Rikers broke out and were causing havoc all over. You know who could not be there to help restore order? The Thing. Literally the muscle of the Fantastic Four. In the end, Ben being human seems more like a strategy by Doom, more than just a petty act. That sounds intentional to me, don't you think? Like any other move Doom has made since this whole thing started. This episode doesn't quite really do anything for the overall story of, Doom being in control of the world, but I did think this was worth to share with everybody because, men's mental health, men's psychology is something that is not always talked about, or it can be uncomfortable, or it can be a difficult subject, right? Because most men have a hard time sharing, their emotions, their feelings, or just their thoughts. And Ryan North took the opportunity to navigate these waters through the situation that Ben Grimm finds himself in. In the end, I just wanted you to know, right? Whether you are a guy, a gal, or anything in between, just wanted to remind you that you're not alone. Problems are temporary, and to encourage you, seek help if you feel like you're struggling, okay? And with that being said, my name is Yangtze, aka Year of the Collector. I want to thank you for watching. You have a blessed day, and remember to read more comics.